One ship with a looming transatlantic crossing is having propulsion issues. I'll tell you what Royal Caribbean might do to fix this quantum class of vessel. Plus, Carnival Cruise Line is making a splash today with their new ship offerings, availability of bookings, earnings, all sorts of news we got to talk about for Carnival today. And a very popular, one of my all-time favorite Caribbean destinations, well, they finally threw in the towel on excluding certain cruise passengers from coming there. I'll tell you what's going down in Turks and Caicos. Let's roll the intro. Hey, welcome to the Midships channel. I'm your Captain Corey, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. And would you look at this? We're back in Florida. It took several days, a heck of a lot of jet lag, more planes, trains, and automobiles than I care to list out right now just to get here. So I'm sorry for the last few days. There haven't been any episodes, but here we go. We're back. Things are getting back to normal. And let's get things started off in the cruise news. Royal Caribbean is having problems once again with their quantum class of ships, specifically the Anthem of the Seas, a ship that's currently running cruises out of New York City down to the Caribbean, Bahamas, whatever you want to call it. They're going to Coco Cay, Nassau, and Port Canaveral. But because of engine issues, Anthem of the Seas has been skipping over Port Canaveral on a few cruises as of late. And this is a ship that, well, frankly, needs to get their engine issues figured out, because the thing is, they have a transatlantic cruise scheduled for May the 1st. That's like a month and a few days away from right now. So they're going to have to figure out exactly what's going on before their ship heads over to Southampton, England. And according to a few online news outlets, this isn't the first time Anthem of the Seas has seen this type of propulsion problem either. A similar issue occurred back in 2017, and back when this happened, the ship actually had to stay overnight in port to put in some extra hours of mechanical work to get her back operating at full speed. Now, Royal Caribbean, for their part, would like you to know the ship is safe. There's nothing unsafe for passengers on board. No issues with seaworthiness. There should be no problems with rooms, dining, onboard activities, entertainment. So yeah, there you go. Anthem of the Seas, they're limping along. Hopefully Royal Caribbean can get the issues ironed out so folks can come here to Port Canaveral once again. Well, we miss you all down here in Central Florida. And you know what else we've been missing is the port of Turks and Caicos. The beautiful island down in the Caribbean has been a problem for many cruisers as of late, as the local Ministry of Health there, well, they're a little bit backwards. Maybe backwards isn't the nicest word. They're a little bit slow in getting with the times, allowing travelers of all persuasions to come and enjoy the beautiful island there. And what I mean by that is specifically Turks and Caicos has been not allowing anyone who has not received a shot in their arm to protect them against a certain global sickness that occurred back in 2020. But that's no longer the case, because starting April 1st, the Ministry of Health is finally going to allow all people, all individuals of all persuasions, backgrounds, and abilities to once again come and enjoy the beautiful Turks and Caicos. That said, the Ministry of Tourism wants you to still go ahead and wash your hands, take things seriously still while you're visiting this beautiful island paradise. Now, Turks and Caicos, they've gone through some hard times. The ringer, you might say, as of late. They had a little issue crop up last year with a certain hurricane coming through and wiping out a good portion of the dock there where cruise ships like to make port. But luckily that was repaired in record time, and it seems like Turks and Caicos is once again ready to open their doors, their big, beautiful, beachy doors, to all who would like to come and go to Turks and Caicos. Yeah, that's one of my favorite cruise ports of all time. I love going to Turks and Caicos. Have you been there? Let me know your thoughts on it down in the comments. And if you haven't been there, well, you better have a pretty good reason why. Explain that to me as well down there. And you know what else I love? It's when midship viewers get to enjoy their cruise even more. because they spent just a few minutes preparing ahead of time in the Amazon Midships store. Yeah, you knew it was coming. In there, you can find everything I personally tested and take with me on every single cruise. Some of these items have gone through 20 plus cruises now with me. Yeah, there's some really good stuff in there is what I'm trying to say. Pretty much everything ships on Prime. Check it out. There's a link in the description down below this video. Now let's get back into the cruise news. Carnival Cruise Line. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. Like a lot. We've got Carnival Forenzia, a new ship that's going to be operating out of Long Beach. Well, the long-awaited Forenzia sailings, about 15 of them, are now officially on sale. Bookings are open for cruises starting in May of next year. So you've got just a little over 1 year to wait to get on board this new Italian concept that Carnival is releasing. But the Forenzia, if you want to sail on board out of Long Beach, that's a really cool terminal. You got the Queen Mary there. You got the big old dome where the Spruce Goose was built. It's a pretty cool place. Check it out. Those bookings are live and ready to go. And that's not the only thing Carnival has to be excited about today, as they posted their long-awaited earnings report for the first quarter of this year. And it turns out they're doing all right. Unlike some of their competitors who claim they'll be turning a profit this year, Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, the latter I'm kind of still sus about. I really don't know that NCL can turn a profit this year, but they seem to think they can. We'll see. Carnival Cruise Line, however, is still operating at a loss, but this was expected. They predicted they will still be operating at a loss into next year. But the good news is they're getting close to 2019 levels across the board. One of the main reasons CCL is still looking at posting a loss is because everything is so darn expensive right now. From food to labor to marketing, everything across the board is way up as inflation hits record levels here in the United States. And that inflation is not a great thing for a lot of these cruise lines, and they're really starting to feel the squeeze. It just seems that Carnival is being a little bit more maybe upfront with us than some of the other lines about that particular squeeze. But again, good news, as Carnival reported a smaller than expected loss. They've got record bookings with deposits on hold right now. Some good things happening at Carnival. They actually beat their revenue estimates, and boy, did they have some big onboard spending numbers to account for that, for sure. But good news, as Carnival say, they're more than 70% booked for the remainder of the year 2023. And one of the things you could actually do to help Carnival increase that number of bookings is to get booked on my group cruise that leaves June 11th aboard the brand new Carnival Celebration. It's a 6-night cruise down to Cozumel, Costa Maya, Mahogany Bay. If you want more info, there's a Facebook link. It's the second one down in the description below. Love to have you join me. There's just a couple cabins left available. Now, here is the one positive takeaway that I haven't heard on any other cruise YouTube channels. The big overarching takeaway here is Carnival say they're in a position where they no longer need to raise additional capital by selling off their assets. And for those of you wondering what exactly that might mean, let's put it into what seems to be what they're trying to imply. They don't seem to be in need anymore. No longer are they in a position where they need to continue selling old ships to raise money to keep operating. And that, my friend, is some very good news coming from Carnival Cruise Line. If you made it this far into today's episode, I'd like to remind you that the best way to stay informed about what's going on in cruising is to get subscribed to this very channel. While you're down there hitting that subscribe button, do me the ultimate favor. Smash the button that looks just like this, that big old thumbs up. It's the only way to let me know you love cruising as much as I do. As usual, thank you so much for stopping by the channel today. And until next time, we'll see ya on the Midships. It is so nice to be back here in Central Florida. I tell you what, after several weeks on the ocean, the scopolamine patches, you ever used those and experienced vision loss up close? I'm pretty sure it was the scopolamine patches. They kept falling off on me, so I didn't get to use them for the full 3 days or whatever you're supposed to use them for. So I kept having to put on a new patch. I think I just kept getting high doses of medication. And I, along with some other people I talked to on board the ship that were using them, we all sort of experienced sort of like up close vision loss. I actually had to use some reading glasses. It was really strange. Have you ever experienced that on board a cruise? Vision loss up close. Let me know. We'll see you tomorrow.
La 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 la